Good morning. There's some noise in the background. I hope it doesn't mess up the audio. So, I thought about reading a little bit of what is episteme. What does it mean for the ancient Greeks? Episteme. Episteme, knowledge, scientific knowledge of what is unchanging and necessary. For example, the noetic, Platonic forms, since episteme is regarded as a certain knowledge of reality. The objects of doxa, the objects of opinion, cannot be assigned to episteme. For Proclus, the task of science is the recognition or gnosis of the causes. And only when we recognize the causes of things do we say that we know them. Scientific or scientific knowledge depends on the synthesizing power of the mind. But the intellect or the nous is the proper spectator of the noetic forms because it is the same nature as them. Okay, let's try to break it down. So they're talking knowledge, but I think knowledge nowadays has a different definition. So in the past, I think it might be indistinguishable from wisdom, but in modern times, knowledge is more like things that you can memorize, things that you can hold in your hand. That's what they call knowledge or empirical knowledge, things that you can count and measure. If it's noetic, if it's supernatural, it's no longer knowledge for the modern person. You see, we've gone a bit too far from the spiritual. We are living through hyper materialistic times, and knowledge kind of lost some of its significance. Now it's better to call it wisdom. I think wisdom is the correct term. Um, Wisdom about what? About the unchanging, about the knowledge of this reality, the unchanging wisdom, a certain wisdom about things that are universal. Doxa, like he said, doesn't apply to episteme. It doesn't. Why? Because doxa is in constant change, is in a constant state of becoming. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense to study doxa. Today, doxa is one thing, tomorrow, it's a different thing. And that's what actually modern scientists are doing. They are studying doxa, the changing world, the constant becoming. So, in their mind, let's study something that happened now. They take a picture or a sample or whatever. This thing, whatever it was, it's unlikely to repeat itself, you see? And things are not a chain of events like scientists want to affirm. It's not a chain of events, it's random. It's random. Why? Free will. Because of free will, things are random. Nothing happens in a chain. So they really hate that idea. And they are constantly pushing forward to this paradigm. Science became a religion of control, became like a theocracy. They want to control, to manipulate. So anyway, science, like Proclus said, is the recognition of causes. Nobody cares about causes. Everybody's focused on the effects. Look at modern medicine. They only want to take care of the symptoms, of the effects. They don't want to deal with the causes. Most of them are unable to see the cause of things. They lack wisdom, they lack understanding, and they only, like a fool, they are only focused on the effects. Like I don't know, a dog chasing its own tail. It doesn't make any sense. So the scientific knowledge, the scientific wisdom depends immensely in the intellect, in the intelligible world, in philosophy. Yeah, the ability, the ability to critical think, the ability to spontaneous, thought genesis, the spontaneity, the creativity, the philosopher. This is destroyed actually from in school. They don't want you to think too much. Um, the intellect is actually suppressed in people becoming, followers of a religion. That's what religions do, all of them. They want to control, to micromanage your life. Um, it's quite disgusting. Anyway, episteme. Of course, nowadays, fast forward and you'd say episteme, I would say no, I rather prefer wisdom. You see, knowledge is pointless. The ability, a certain wisdom about knowledge is it's important. What's the point of memorizing an entire book? There's a lot of people who have photographic memory actually, but they don't know how to connect the dots. They don't have wisdom to connect the dots. I was listening to this actor. He's like, I have a photographic memory, he said, but I'm dumb as a. I can't remember what he compared. He just can't connect the dots, you see. He's able to memorize because he has photographic memory, but he's unable to link, to see the patterns, to create bridges. I once studied this doctor. He said, he claimed he had photographic memory, and he was able to recite every book that he ever read, and he would, link everything, one book to the other. He would find the similarities, the red flags, the green flags. He would the patterns, the it's what pejoratively we call, the establishment calls a conspiracy theorist. It's just someone who recognizes the patterns. Anyway, episteme, or wisdom, a certain wisdom about knowledge, let's say it, is highly dependent on the intellect, and it's the study of causes, the study of reality, and it is the scientific method. It is the science. Anyway, a lot changed since the times of Aristotle. A lot changed. Um, all right, I think I'm gonna shut up. Have a nice day.